The recording, it sure is. Well, howdy do. Welcome back to my channel or whatever. And so I have my lovely stepmother here with me today.
Hello.
My biggest fan and probably the only person that's gonna watch and like my video because she's the first one to ever do it on all my videos.
Yep.
Biggest fan here. Also, you can smoke in my videos, obviously.
Okay.
You want to get the ashtray?
I just don't want a cigarette right now.
Oh.
I just put one out. I've been chain smoking last night. My lungs are feeling it.
So, today we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about some ghost stories there.
Don't you just love an awesome ghost story?
That's my aunt's dog. And yeah, I'm at my dad's. I think I already said that. Did I?
Yeah.
I did. Whatever. Anyways, we all know I'm not very professional, and I'm just gonna talk how I normally talk. So whatever. Anyways, so. Yeah, we wanted to. I've been waiting to come see her to do. She wanted to do real scary stories, like our experiences and stuff that we've had in this house, actually, with spirits and stuff like that, demons particularly. But
some spooky stuff right there.
So we're gonna do some stories today that are true. So yeah.
Which one you want to do first? There's a lot.
There are a lot. A lot.
We'll have to make a lot of videos.
I guess we should start with maybe not the one that is the stuff that happened last night. Let's do the one when we heard like the really bad night.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you.
You go right ahead.
Oh my gosh. It was like 2 or 3 years ago, right? About 3 years.
Now it's been like 3.
Yeah. Anyway, I have 2 sons, and my youngest son, he sleeps in the back bedroom. And what happened was, he had went and left for the weekend to spend at his brother's house for like 2 to 3 days. Wow. I'd made some shepherd's pie and everything. Me and Sarah was sitting in here in the living room.
And it was a different couch. It was that separated couch.
Yeah. And anyways, kept hearing noises and stuff and everything. And so like somebody was walking in the laundry room and all that stuff. I was like jokingly, "Oh, you want some shepherd's pie? Go ahead, knock yourself out, eat it," or whatever. Anyways, there was stuff hitting her, the cushion on the back of the seat, like they was doing that. And she'd go, "What was that?" You know. And then, what really got our biscuits going. Okay, mind you, my son, 2 hours earlier, that lives with me, had left to go to his brother's for like 3 days. So it's just me and her. And we had just got done turning off the TV. So there was no noise in the background. All of a sudden, we hear my son's, Brad's voice come out of his room saying, "Hey, Ma," loud, clear as day. That freaked us out.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? Don't call me Ma. I ain't your damn Ma." That's what I said. I got you. And we went in the bedroom. Didn't tell her what happened.
Well, then things really got cooking, and we were just sitting there, and we closed the door. I think I locked it too because I was freaked out.
Yeah,
I locked the door.
Out.
Well, it sounded like somebody had opened the door. Like, it was weird, and I was like, well, Daddy's not home yet, so, I mean, he was still gone. We would have heard him come up. He's got a truck, so, but yeah, so we heard that, so I'm like, what was that? And I kind of didn't want to look. I just opened the door, and there was, nothing, everything was normal. It was kind of dark in here though, except for the kitchen light. And so then we just start hearing like somebody walking around. I saw the shadow of somebody walk by. Now she has a cat too, and this is before my aunt moved in with her dog, so there was just one animal here. And that was before I got shadow too. And yeah, so I'm like, well, maybe it was the neighbor, and or his girlfriend at the time, and sure wasn't. And we just kept hearing somebody walking around, and
the ramp outside sounded like you could hear footsteps, and we'd look out the window, there's nobody there.
And then it gets even better, because is that the same night we heard that multiple nights. There was like it sounded like a music box in the bathroom. Yeah. Like with really, really, like 1920s music or something, maybe older, I don't know. But
it was out of place music.
Yeah.
Because we do not have no TVs going at this point because we're trying to hear what's going on.
Yeah, and we don't own a music box either.
And that night, also, we sat after we went into the bedroom, we heard like people genuinely walking and talking in here. There's nobody in here.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like Sam's voice too.
Yeah, like, hello, is anyone here? Or stuff like that. It was creepy.
Well, then we started hearing music come from the basement, and there is nothing in the basement. It's just like a bunch of junk. Like nothing in the basement.
And dirt floor.
Yeah. And there's no radio down there. Bless you. And there's no radio or anything down there. Like I said, like, nobody's here.
And we keep it locked up anyways.
Yeah, so
nobody could have gotten in there anyways.
Yeah, and then it sounded like somebody, like in those old cartoons when the old woman has the broom and starts beating on the wall or the ceiling. It sounded like that under our feet.
Yeah.
And then, like, it just kept going. Like, there was so much activity at one time. And that's when we heard, like, these big, heavy steps coming up and down the ramp. And then I went to look and I was like, and we just kept hearing stuff, and like music was loud, and we were, oh my gosh. And then this footstep stopped in front of the window, and I was like, And the minute I was getting ready to call my mom, because I was legit like, me and Tina got to get out of here. Like, and my dad pulls up.
And also, her dad, he had left his truck there because he had been having problems with the truck, so he hadn't been driving it. He was using my car to drive it. So we kept hearing the truck sound like it was starting up too. And we was just really.
And that was also on a different night too. We would hear, or we would see somebody sitting in there. It was too, yeah.
Yeah, because it sounded like the engine was just idling on that truck, and that's a loud truck.
Yeah, it's an S10. It's a, an 89, I think? Or 80...
1990, 91.
Oh, yeah, it's a 90, yeah.
But it's got a loud engine, and it sounded like it was just sitting there idling.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
But yeah, right at the time, we're really freaked out. I'm like, we gotta get out of here. And my dad pulls up with my boyfriend.
Honest to God's truth, though. This really legitimately happened.
And he comes in and everything stops.
Yeah.
Everything stops. And I'm just like, seriously?
I know. And Johnny and her dad is looking at us like we're big fat liars. And we're like, no, it really happened.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'm hearing my son's voice come from his room when there was a loud bang in his room too, and there's nobody in there.
Yeah.
And his voice, I mean, it was identical to his voice.
We're like, nope.
I was like, oh, that was messed up. That freaked me out the most. It still freaks me out to this day.
Because there was another time he was gone too, and I came in here to get some beer before my dad got home, before we started, because we were going to drink.
Oh,
and so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I go in the kitchen because the beer was in here, in this refrigerator. And all of a sudden, it sounds like somebody had a basketball and just slammed it up against Brad's door. And I'm like, So I walk in, and I didn't know Brad wasn't here at the time either.
Yeah.
And I went and I was like, God, Brad's pissed off at that game. And she's like, Brad's at Andrews. I was like, I just heard, and she was like, So I opened the door and I looked and there was nothing in there.
Yeah.
Like nothing fell or anything. Like because it was up against the wall. It was just, or
yeah,
the doors.
He was
like
still
bam.
like Andrews at the time.
Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you, man, this.
He decided to stay an extra day longer because he was originally supposed to be back home that day, but she thought he had just came back home because he's always staying in his bedroom.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, he's not here yet. He decided to stay an extra day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was creepy.
And then like people walking back and forth behind the couch. And all sorts of stuff in that bedroom too.
Oh yeah, that's a creepy bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that I stayed in when I lived here.
Oh yeah, some creepy stuff be happening. A lot of times I've been in there with Tammy, and all of a sudden her closet door just opens for no reason.
Yeah. Lots of fun stuff. Hey, don't ruin my video.
And it would be shut too. It's like someone just twists the doorknob and just opens right up.
And there's many times I would just sit here and, well, I would be in my room and it sounded like my dad had left. Like I heard him walk through here, open the door, close it, and I heard him talking. And he wasn't even here. He was still asleep. Yeah, he was still asleep.
Yeah.
He wasn't even here. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, in the mornings I used to. I've stopped doing it. But used to, I would come out here in the mornings and I would drink coffee and read my Bible. And when you walk on this floor, you can feel the vibrations. If you're sitting on the couch, you can feel somebody, if they walk past, you can feel the vibrations of their footsteps. Well, I kept feeling that, and there's nobody there. And then also, my cat Cuddles was acting, like how a cat will arch its back and headbutt its head against something when it's being petted. He was doing that, but there was nothing there petting him.
Yeah.
Something was petting my cat, but I could not see it. It was freaky. So now I don't drink. I don't sit out here in the living room by myself. I will not.
Yeah.
It's creepy if you do.
Yeah. How long is this getting to be? Oh, it's only 13 minutes. We could tell that. We could turn 13 minutes. I don't know who's going to watch a really long video, but whatever. So
I'll watch it.
I know you will. But, yeah, you've had, like, the chair. My dad has a rolling chair in there that he sits and plays guitar. And it rolled, I wasn't here for that, but it rolled across the floor. Her and my dad were just like, well then.
By itself. He even saw that. Because usually nothing happens when he's around, really.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, well, maybe it was just this, or he comes up with different ideas, kind of brush it off. But
he does believe in it too, but
he couldn't brush that off because he actually saw it move all the way across the room by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was creepy.
I'm telling you, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, and then last night.
Yeah, she said it could have been those eggs too. I was like, but that doesn't make sense because it was all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then it would go away, and it would come back really strong, and then it would go away.
We smell the smell of sulfur, which smells like rotten eggs. It stinks. And then it was smelling all over the living room too. And the bathroom and the bedroom.
Yeah, because me and my dad even went outside because it smelled like something had died, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, is that an animal or whatever? So we went outside, and I'm like...
It was stinky.
Yeah. And then it made us really emotional. Like all of a sudden, like he was fine because my dad got angry, but it was weird. Like it would feed off of him, and then all of a sudden, I just started crying for no reason.
Yeah.
No reason.
But then we started playing Christian music and it stopped.
Yeah.
And it started happening at 3:33 a.m. That's when we first got the first smell of the egg smell. And then everything went crazy until like 6 o'clock this morning when it calmed down.
Yeah. So the demon that is here, like the big main one, because there's three other ones that I've actually seen, like in a dream, because I have to do stories about that later too. But this is me and you together, so because I can tell the other ones that it was just me, but yeah, there's 2 males and 1 female. And then the big main one likes to feed off of energy, like really bad. Yeah, especially negative energy. He likes to piss people off.
Also, for people that don't know, it's pretty much common knowledge though, but demons will mimic people's voices. So
yeah,
that's why we was hearing my son's voice come from his room, because when he hollers for me, he goes, "Hey, Mom." And it was his voice identical, and he wasn't even here. So.
Yeah. I've heard your voice in here and you talking too, and you weren't in here. You were asleep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got a lot of stories. So, is there anything else that happened to just me and you?
Oh, gosh.
Like, I know we always hear, like, noises and stuff, but, I mean, usually it pretty much started with, like, well, with both of us, it started with, like,
it'd be, like, little tiny things.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Yeah.
But,
so, mostly it's in that bathroom, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we hear, like, musical... oh, no, there was the other thing, but it didn't really affect you. It was... Something was happening. I heard something... I kept seeing something in the bathroom, remember? And then me...
it's a shadow thing.
Yeah, and I took a candle and was actually, like, trying to talk to it. And I turned all the lights off. And I had just a candle in there because I was like, well, I want to see if I can talk to it. Because I think I've said in another video that I can talk to spirits and I can see them. Yeah. But, yeah, so I went in there and I looked in the mirror. In my face, I looked like a 12-year-old all of a sudden, remember? And then my dad went in there with me and we were both looking. And I got, like, super young and he looked like he was 80-something. It was so weird. I brought her in there and it was, we were normal.
Yeah, I never saw anything like that.
So, I don't know. Spirits like me. I attract them apparently. But
yeah. I've had experiences since I was a small child.
Yeah, I have too.
But I think part of that is because I inherited it from my mom. She was actually born with a veil over her face. And she would see things. She would see angels. You know, she would see angels. She saw 2 angels coming to get her next door neighbor, and they walked right through
Daisy.
the wall. And then the next morning, she found out that her neighbor had passed away.
Stop, please. Sorry, guys. She's a very yappy dog.
She found out that her neighbor had passed away that night. So, my mom, she used to see, we can make a whole video about the stuff my mom saw and stuff, and stuff I've seen since I was a child.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. I used to see, you know, stuff. Now I can't because I blocked it out, because when I was little, I would see a spirit like an actual human being. And it got to where it was freaking me out because because all of a sudden the people I was talking to would disappear right before my eyes, and I knew that wasn't normal, and that freaked me out.
Yeah, I don't see them like that. I just see like shadows.
I don't see anything
Or-
now,
Yeah.
but
I see.
I hear things and stuff.
Yeah, I see shadows, and I see pretty much when I see them in the daytime. That's why I sleep with the nightlight, because I can see them at night, and it's not fun at all. So that's why I sleep with a nightlight. I'm not scared of the dark. I just can see stuff. So, but I mean, I don't know. Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. In the daytime, they look. The only thing I can compare it to is like seeing like TV static almost. That's like invisible or blurry, kind of, just of like a figure. I don't know. That's the only way I can explain that. But I don't see them like full figured people or whatever. You know.
I was seeing just like you, flesh and blood. You know, like you could reach over and actually touch them. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
But I blocked that ability because it was freaking me out too much as a small child. And I guess for my sanity's sake, it was a coping mechanism. I blocked it. So now I don't see anything. I just hear things
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's freaky. But I'm glad I don't see anything. So it'd be, when I was real small, I'd wake up and there'd be someone standing at the foot of my bed, you know, just looking at me. I mean, then they disappear. And, Mommy, there was a strange man in my room, Mommy. Climbing in her bed, freaked me out. Mom would go in there and look, there was nobody there.
So, is that about it, I guess?
Yeah, for right now, I guess.
For right now. If we find anything else, then or think of anything else, then we can just make another video, because I think this... Oh, it's only 22 minutes, but that's still kind of long, but...
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so that's some fun experiences there. So, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna make more videos about paranormal experiences. This is why I don't own a dog, guys. Anyways, that's the end of the video. So anyway, y'all have a good one. We'll holler at you later.
Bye.